Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. So this is a bit of an impromptu live. I did not um, share this anywhere, so let's see who comes up. So in today's video, I'd really like to talk about perfection, attaining perfection, what it is, and how to get that in your own life. And if you're anything like me, um, you probably get stuck in thoughts a lot. Are you that person? Let me know if you're that person. Maybe you don't get stuck in thoughts. Maybe you live in perfect flow. But if you're not someone who can let go of thoughts and thinking very easily, if you tend to go into your analytical mind, and if you are someone who is trying to attain perfection in your own life, really trying to balance out work and life and healthy living and everything else in your life, but have found it challenging, then this is the video for you. So first, let's just have a look at what is perfection. Many will say that perfectionism isn't real, that it doesn't exist. And to a certain degree, that's true. But there is actually a level of perfection. There is actually such a thing as perfection. It's just not what you've been led to believe it is. It's just not what we've been told. We think of perfect as the Joneses. We think of perfect as, or at least we've been led to believe or taught to believe that perfect means we have to attain everything in our lives, having a stable income or job, having a nice place to live, having a nice car, living in a nice neighborhood, whatever that is. That's kind of the picture that's been painted for us. And, having the perfect body, having the perfect marriage or relationships, um, it's just that picture, that unattainable picture. Um, it really is unattainable because that's not what real perfectionism is. That's not what perfect is. That is someone's idea of perfect. So, what is perfection then? Basically, let's look at nature as an example. If you look at the seasons, it doesn't try. It doesn't try to be spring. It doesn't try to be summer. Plants don't struggle to grow. Animals don't analyze over what they need to do. They just do it. They get on with it. They don't overthink and overanalyze everything. And sure, I'm definitely not negating thinking and analyzing. It has its place for sure. If that is part of who you are, wonderful. It has its place. But when we are trying to find perfection in our own lives, analyzing every single aspect of our own lives and looking at how we can be perfect, that's not really going to get us where we need to go. So, in order to attain your perfect life, you actually have to stop trying so hard. That's what we've been led to believe, you know. So if you try to reach all of the ideals that society and I'm just having a look at my notes. I tend to just talk from the heart, but sometimes I feel like it's important just to write down a few notes just so that I don't forget. But basically, expectations is a thing. And this is what we often don't realize. We try and fit into a model or a box of what somebody else's expectations are. And sometimes it's your own expectations. There's expectations from loved ones, family members. There's expectations from bosses and clients. There's expectations from society. There's expectations that you put upon yourself. And where do those expectations come from? A lot of it comes from conditioning. And conditioning and expectation are tied together very closely. Just think about that for a second. So when you are trying to live up to expectations, whether it belongs to yourself, society, or somebody else, what are you doing? Are you in alignment with yourself when you're trying to live up to those expectations? Think about that for a second. Are you in alignment with yourself? I'm going to say it again. Are you in alignment with yourself when you are trying to live up to those expectations? Is that your true being? Is that who you truly are? So how do you be perfect? The simple and easy answer is you are perfect already. You are perfect when you are just being you. Because what we tend to do when we try and align with other people's expectations or society's expectations or unrealistic expectations we put upon ourselves, we are aligning with those expectations, not with ourselves, not with our true beings. And this is why nature makes it look so easy. Because nature is not concerned with whether it's living up to anybody's expectations or ideals. It gets on with being, gets on with just being. The little honeybee doesn't try to be like anybody else. The honeybee is true to its nature. And the same with plants that start growing, flowers and everything that grows in springtime. Nobody stands there and looks at their watch and go, okay, it's time, you better start growing. Have you reached the quota yet for the growth? Have you done this? Da, 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 da. No, nature knows. It just happens. It happens because it's just being. It's being itself. It's being its own true reflection of itself. And that is what perfection is. If you look at nature and how beautiful it is and all the beauty within it, it's perfect. You can't do it any better than that. Yes, you could say there's flaws. You could. But the truth is each animal or plant or insect, even the seasons, is perfect for what it needs to be. Even the sloth, people could go and say, well, what does a sloth do? It doesn't contribute. That's not the point. The point is it's perfect at being what it is. And this is what we have to learn. This is what true perfection is. It's really aligning with your true self, your true being. So in essence, when you start aligning with yourself and start being the best you can be, not what other people say you are or other people say you should be, okay? But who you truly are. And how do you do that? You do that through self-reflection. You do that from getting to know yourself and truly understanding what makes you excited, what drives your passion, what brings you joy, things that truly bring you joy, things that truly make you happy. You follow that. And then before you know it, if you just keep following that joy, that feeling of joy, that calm, and this is something I had to learn, hey, I always used to think, oh, I have to get, when I'm getting so excited, that's great. It's good to be excited. But when you're in that sort of adrenaline rush the whole time, that's also not healthy. It's that calm place where you feel at peace. So, for example, for me, when I meditate and I go into a deep meditation and I can feel my connection to everything, I find this amazing inner peace. And I know that everything is going to be okay. I know that everything is going to work out. And in that space, I connect with my true being. And look, I'm still a work in progress. We all are. But in spite of all the challenges that I still face in my life, I am the happiest I've ever been in my life. Because I'm no longer concerned with what other people think of me and who they think I should be. Sure, I fall back and I have my moments. I definitely, it happens. But that's the beauty of it. Having compassion for yourself and understanding that you're on a journey and you're growing. That is part of your journey. And just because you're making mistakes or falling down, it doesn't mean that you're imperfect. It doesn't mean that you're not where you're supposed to be right now. And that's the other part of it. The other part of being perfect, if you want, and being in complete alignment with yourself is to live, truly live in the moment. You can get inspired, and that inspiration that comes in that calm space. You can get inspired and have a goal. But you don't have to have all the steps of how to get there. You don't have to go and plan, write a 2-year strategy of how to attain this goal. You just have to do the next step. So all you have to do is be in the now. Find the joy and the peace and the beauty in now. Find the beauty in yourself. Find the beauty of who you are. Stop comparing yourself to other people. You're not them. That's the simple truth of it. We're all connected, but just because we're all connected doesn't mean you are someone else. Does that make sense? You need to be you. So you need to find out who you are, and being in the moment and spending time with yourself and your being and having that relationship with yourself, first and foremost, that is going to get you to your perfect balance, your ideal balance for your life. That's going to get you to your most aligned and joyful, purpose-filled life is being in alignment with yourself, getting to know yourself, making yourself happy. You know, if you're always wishing that your partner would buy you some nice flowers and you don't want to tell them to, this is such a female thing. Anyway, this is what I've experienced. You don't want to tell them to go get you flowers. You want them to get it for you all on their own, so that to prove that they really love you and care about you, because they should know by now that you like flowers. You've hinted often enough. Okay, I'm just using this as a silly example. You've hinted often enough that you would like to get some flowers, because that's what they show in the movies. You go and date somebody who cares about you, they buy you flowers. So why is he not buying me flowers? Do you understand? Do you see what's happened here? There's an expectation that's been created. And that expectation comes from conditioning. It has got nothing to do with your true being. But if you would really like to, so if you really would like to feel special, if flowers really do make you feel special, don't wait for someone else to buy it for you. Go walk in a field of flowers and enjoy it, or go buy yourself a little plant and look at that beautiful plant every day and enjoy those flowers. You don't have to put expectations on someone else. And in turn, you don't have to put unrealistic expectations on yourself, because all that's going to lead to is disappointment. Absolute disappointment. Now, again, that's not to say you can't have expectations, but those expectations should be in alignment with you. The only expectation that is worth having really is expecting that everything will work out. Everything will fall in place. Trusting, believing, and having faith that the universe has got your back. Because it does. Look at nature. If you don't believe me, look at nature. Nature doesn't try. It just does. The universe has got its back. And I understand that you can say, oh, but what about money? You know, I've got to make money every month. Or, oh, but, you know, if I just do nothing, it's not doing nothing. Yes, the bills need to get paid, and yes, certain things need to happen. Life happens. 3D life, it still happens. Even though I'm spiritual, I'm a channeler, I meditate, I know a lot of things, I get a lot of information. 3D life still happens. I'm still a mom. I still have a special needs daughter. I have a husband. I have friends. I have clients. And I have to pay bills. I have to do all the things that we all have to do. But agonizing over every little detail and working so hard to try and get everything balanced, it doesn't work. I tried to do that for years. And the other thing that happened as well is I used to listen to other people a lot. Other people who seemed to have their lives together. And I would go and I would ask their advice, and they would tell me their advice, and yeah, this would really work for you. This. And then I would try and then I'm like, wow, that sounds amazing. Thank you. And it's not to say that other people's advice are useless, but you have to always check it with yourself. Does it really align with you? Does it really resonate with you and who you are? And what I can tell you about those experiences of when I went and looked at other people and how to do things, other people how to balance life, I never got it right. And what ended up happening was that I was really disappointed in myself. I was just so disappointed because I dashed. Because they can do it, why can't I? What's wrong with me? Do you see how this leads to lower vibrational thoughts, lower vibrations? So the way to get you out of that is to align with yourself. It is to go within and to connect with your true being, your true self, your higher self, your soul, whatever you want to call it. And when I stopped listening, it's not to say I never listen to other people, or I never get advice, or I don't have mentors and I don't have teachers. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying and what I have learned is that when you follow your intuition, your inner guidance, and you learn to listen to your emotions, you learn to listen to your body when your body is in dis-ease and you're experiencing things, to start becoming aware of your own emotions, your thoughts, your body, and let that be the information. We don't all have to be spiritual and meditate all day either to get to know ourselves. Okay, you just have to pay attention. You have to be aware. Awareness is the key here, folks. Be aware. If you're interacting with someone and you get a feeling that something is off, but you really like the person and you want to like them and you want this relationship to work out and you think that they're fun and they're nice, but something's just not quite, but you keep ignoring it. That's what we tend to do. You ignore that little warning thing. You know, that usually, that's not a good thing. If you get a slightest little inkling, whether it's a person, whether it's something you want to buy, whether it's something you want to eat, whether it's the next project you want to do, whether it's whatever it is, if you get the slightest hint that something doesn't quite feel right, you've got to go find out why. You've got to ask yourself why. Don't ignore that wisdom. Don't ignore your intuition. And when your intuition tells you, do this, no matter how crazy it sounds, trust me on this. No matter how crazy it sounds, do it. Do it. I have tried this in so many different ways. For example, I have a certain budget and I've got to go buy some things for the house. And my budget's limited. So this has happened to me before. My budget's limited and I'm like, okay, I could, so my thinking, my analytical brain goes, I could go here and here and here. I could go do this and this and this. For example, I can go look for all the specials online and see how can I save the most money. But do you see how much time and effort that takes? And that's what I used to do. I used to plan things to death. It didn't serve me. It didn't serve me. And planning has its place, but there's an easier way. And the easy way was asking my intuition. This is how I've tested it. Okay, I've got this amount of money. We want these things. What should I do? Where should I go? And then I would get an answer like, go to Pick and Pay. I'm like, my logic tells me, why would I go there? I know that if I go to Food Lovers, for example, I'm going to get much better value for money for fruits and vegetables. I need fruits and vegetables. Why is it telling me to go to Pick and Pay? That doesn't make sense. But if I had listened to my logic, I would have missed out on the amazing special that happened that day at Pick and Pay that I didn't even know about. And I ended up getting everything I needed within budget and being super happy with what I got. And that's just an example. That's just a practical example out of life. You can apply this to any area of your life. So if you just listen to your inner wisdom, moment by moment, every single thing that you want to do, whether it's to create a partnership, whether it's to find out which healing you need to get, whatever it is, anything in your life, listen to your wisdom, listen to your inner voice, listen to your intuition. And where does that intuition come from? Is it some airy fairy voice out there? No, it's from your being. It's from your higher self. It's from your true self. So go and test it out. And please do go and comment below if you have tested this in any way. And try and live in the moment. Try and be present. And sometimes, and here's another example. So sometimes, we have goals like work. And we've got deadlines and things to do. And this is especially true if you're running your own business, okay? You have to be self-disciplined, right? But there are times when you set certain goals and the goals are so harsh that you end up running yourself down. Oh, and I've done this so many times. So trust me, I know about this. You run yourself down because you've not listened to your guidance. This has happened to me. Sometimes your intuition tells you, even though you've told yourself, I have this deadline and I have to do this. That's the thinking, okay? That's your analytical brain. That's your ego. I have to do this by this date, and this is, and you're putting so much pressure on yourself. And you're making life so difficult and so challenging, but you're exhausted. And your wisdom, your guidance, your inner guidance, your intuition is telling you, Michelle, just go have a nap. Like, I can't have a nap. I've got this to do and this to do and this to do. So let me tell you the two scenarios. The times when I didn't listen to my intuition and I said, no, I just need to do what I need to do. I've got to just push through. That's what we're told to do, right? What ended up happening is either I made mistakes or I ran myself into burnout, and then I got sick, and then I didn't end up finishing the projects anyway, because my body just came to a standstill and said no more. Or the timing wasn't quite right, and I kind of pushed it, and it doesn't work out. Or some other things happened to prevent me actually from stopping this, like challenges, like obstacles that happen out of nowhere. And you had these plans, and then you don't meet your plans, and then you're disappointed, and then it just becomes a shamble. But the times when I have listened to my intuition, so for example, I went and took the nap. I'm like, my logic saying, are you crazy? You can't do that. But then knowing my inner wisdom, knowing that my intuition has never steered me wrong. When I've listened to other people, I've made mistakes. When I've listened to my own unrealistic expectations, I've made mistakes. But when I listened to my intuition, went and took the nap, after the nap, I feel amazing. I had some inspiration while I was sleeping. I got an idea of how to simplify what I was doing, and I ended up being way more productive and completing it even better than I thought I would. Or another thing that has happened is I come up with a new idea and I realize this is actually not the right time to have this deadline. It's actually more important for me to do this thing right now instead of that I thought that I needed to do. And then that ends up being a much better result. I hope you understand. I hope this makes sense to you, and I hope that this inspires you to go and listen to your own intuition and to listen to your inner voice and align with your higher self in that way. When you align with you, with your true self, that is perfection. When you are living in the moment, truly living in flow, that is perfection. Life falls into place. Everything happens. When you stop letting go of the expectations, you stop being attached to the outcomes, and you just start trusting and trusting yourself, trusting your intuition. Things fall into place. That is the closest. And the more you do it, the better it gets. In the beginning, it might be a little bit hard because you might be warring with your ego a little bit or quite a lot. But eventually you get to a place where it becomes easy to live in flow and your life is simplified and easier. You don't have to stress about things 2 years into the future anymore. You can just be at peace because everything's fine. If you look at right now, where you are right now, are you fine? And if you're not, why is that? Is it because you've set unrealistic expectations on yourself? Is it because someone else is expecting something of you that is not you? And if you do find something that is beautiful in the moment, and you are grateful for that and feel that, it's about the feelings. If you feel that good feeling, that's alignment. That's when you're in alignment. You can trust that. It will never, ever steer you wrong. Never. And it's not to say that things don't happen. Life happens. But you learn to deal with it. And that's how the people that you see that live those perfectly balanced lives, that's how they do it. Okay, there's many successful people out there. In fact, most successful people uses this method. They follow their own guidance. They follow their own intuition. You all have it. Every single one of us has the wisdom within us and have the tools that we need for ourselves, for our own lives, for our own perfect journey and life. You find it within. If you feel you need advice, if you feel you need someone to help you, that we are there. We need to help each other. But you listen and you feel. And if something doesn't resonate with you, you don't have to follow that. Even everything that I said today, if it doesn't resonate with you, it doesn't resonate with you, and that's okay. That's perfectly okay. Do what resonates with you. Do what makes you feel good. Do what lights you up. That is the true key to perfection. That is the true perfection, is being you. And that's it, folks. It's as simple as that. Being true to yourself, really true to yourself. I hope you found today's video helpful. And if you would like a coaching session for me to help you attain this flow in life and to help you attain your best life, I teach people how to do this. And I teach people how to integrate their lives, their spiritual lives with their physical 3D lives, and to find the balance. And I help look at you as an individual, how to do that. So if you're keen on a coaching session with me or a channeling session or anything else, my website details are down below, and everything you need to know is there on my website, and my contact details are there. And of course, you're welcome to add any comments down below. If there's anything you would like me to teach on this platform, anything you want to learn, please put it in the comments below, because I'm doing this. I don't get paid for doing this YouTube video. This is my service to you. This is my service to humanity. I'm simply teaching you what I've learned. I'm sharing my wisdom. And if it resonates with you, wonderful. So, yes, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe. And I want to give you what you need and what you want. And so really do put in the comments if there's anything specific you'd like me to teach on or to coach you on in these sessions. And I will endeavor to make it a reality for you. Thank you so much for watching today. Have a blessed, blessed, blessed week. I'll be back here again next week, Thursday at 12. Bye.